The sun is starting to set, casting long shadows across the narrow canal. You sit quietly in the boat, watching as the island looms ahead. It's quiet. Too quiet. The others on the boat are chatting, but there is one tourist in particular who has been acting strange since you arrived. He's pacing the island, pushing through the trees, grumbling under his breath, and swatting at the dolls like they're nothing more than trash. You watch him approach one of the oldest dolls. Its face is cracked, its glass eyes dull with age. He laughs and grabs the doll by the arm, shaking it, and its fragile body crumbles, a limb falling off into the dirt. He mutters, "What's the big deal with these things? They're just old toys." He kicks at the doll, its face landing in the grass, eyes pointing up at him as if still watching. Suddenly, the air shifts. The wind, which had been still moments before, picks up, rustling the trees. The sound of the branches creaking fills the air, but it feels like something else. The tourist pauses. His smirk fades. A sense of dread settles over him as he stares at the broken doll's head, which now seems to look right at him. "Whatever," he says, forcing a laugh. But you can see it. He knows he's crossed a line. He backs away, nervously looking over his shoulder. The whispers in the wind seem to grow louder, but he's not sticking around to hear them. What's up, everybody? My name is Andrew. Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. What we do here is we talk about all things creepy, spooky, cryptids, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, whatever. Not really goblins. I haven't really heard any goblin stories. I take that back. The Alaskan Triangle is supposed to have some sort of goblin-like creature. We might cover the Alaskan Triangle in some video. But today, we're talking about the Island of the Doll, or Isla de las Muñecas, as it's called in Spanish. You'll have to forgive my Spanish pronunciations, as I do not speak Spanish. So let's get into it. The Island of the Dolls is not a place you visit lightly. Hidden deep within the canals of Xochimilco, just south of Mexico City, this tiny, seemingly forgotten island is known as Isla de las Muñecas to the outside world. It may appear as a morbid tourist attraction, but to those who understand its history, it's far more than that. The story begins in the 1950s when a man named Don Julián Santana Barrera moved to the island, seeking the solitude and isolation. He lived there alone, at least for a while. According to the local legend, everything changed one fateful day when Don Julián discovered the body of a young girl who had drowned in the canal. What exactly happened remains a mystery, but what came next shaped the island's future. Not long after finding the girl, Don Julián came across a floating doll in the canal, likely lost by someone who had once passed through. He assumed the doll belonged to the girl, and in a strange act of both respect and fear, he hung it from a tree, thinking it would bring peace to her restless spirit. That, in and of itself seems pretty admirable, I want to say. I see nothing at all wrong with that. But peace didn't come. Don Julián began to hear whispers in the night, voices he couldn't explain. He swore he could hear the cries of the young girl calling out to him, her presence lingering on the island. Convinced that the spirit was not at rest, Don Julián began to collect more dolls. He scavenged the area, pulling dolls from the trash, finding them in discarded canals, and sometimes people would give them to him. Each doll was added to the island, an offering, a desperate attempt to calm the spirit that haunted him. Yeah, so I've seen this island a few times on a few different shows. My favorite instance of it being on TV was Destination Truth. Shout out to Josh Gates. He's the real one. Dude, I love everything Josh Gates does. Honestly, like, the dude's legit. Shout out to Destination Truth. How many of you guys like Destination Truth? I miss that show so much. It was such a rare treat, because they would honestly go in and like do like real investigations. It was ahead of its time for what it was. It was on Sci-Fi Channel too, believe it or not. Back when Sci-Fi Channel was a thing, and it was before they changed the wording to SYFI as well. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Let's get back to it. For decades, he filled the trees with dolls, each one more unsettling than the last. They weren't toys, they were guardians. At least that's what Don Julián believed. He hung them by their necks, around their arms, their heads, wherever he could fit them, until the island itself became a graveyard of twisted, broken faces. But no matter how many dolls he added, the hauntings never stopped. And in 2001, Don Julián was found dead, floating in the very same spot where he had claimed the young girl had drowned. Some say it was a heart attack. Others whisper that the island took him, just as it took the girl. That is pretty unfortunate that he was found dead on the island, even of a heart attack. Like just being alone like that when you pass would just be that would be hard. I don't know if the guy had family or not, but it says he moved out there, on his own. So there's not a whole lot that I can speculate on that, but if he was found in the same spot that he found the girl in, that to me is a big coincidence. Mind you, the girl thing is just a legend. I didn't find any proof that he actually found a body there, so it is local legend at this point. Yeah, the girl's body was never found, and her existence was never proven. So take that with a grain of salt. The dolls are a grotesque sight to behold, faded, weathered, beaten, and falling apart. Some are missing eyes, others are tangled in vines, and some have decayed so much that they're barely recognizable as dolls at all. Yet they hang, suspended from the trees like silent sentinels, watching all who dare visit. To this day, tourists bring new dolls to the island. Some do it out of respect for Don Julián's legacy. Others bring them as offerings, hoping to appease whatever spirits might still linger here. Each doll joins the decaying ranks and those already hanging from the trees, slowly rotting in the humid air. The island's eerie reputation has drawn attention from paranormal investigators around the world. One of the most famous shows to explore Isla de las Muñecas was Destination Truth, hosted by Josh Gates. When the team visited the island, they experienced strange phenomena, unexplained movements, unsettling sounds, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched. Josh Gates himself remarked on the island's oppressive atmosphere, and their findings only added to the island's legacy. Locals say the island is cursed. Some claim they have seen the dolls moving on their own, their heads turning to follow visitors as they walk. Others report hearing the faint giggles of a child, though no one is ever there. It's not just the dolls. Many believe the spirits of both young girls and Don Julián still roam the island. Even today, locals refuse to visit after dark, believing that the island holds something far more dangerous than just broken toys. It's also on the episode of Destination Truth. They also got footage of the dolls opening and closing their eyes. Now, mind you, that this is... I cannot claim to know how it was done or even debunk it. But they got footage of the doll opening and closing its eyes, and Josh Gates was like thoroughly creeped out. Now, this was a TV show, and there could have been some sort of shenanigans afoot.
And I'm done. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't see it?
I did.
No!
I think I saw it.
It opened its eye. The eye just opened on.
I don't put anything past anyone, but I just wanted to mention that. The Island of the Dolls is a place where the line between the living and dead seems to blur. Whether or not you believe in the stories of spirits or curses, the island leaves an impression on everyone who visits. The decaying dolls, the oppressive atmosphere, the tragic history, all combine to create an experience unlike any other. Would you dare visit Isla de Muñecas? Would you walk among the broken dolls knowing that their lifeless eyes are always watching? Or would you, like the tourists we saw earlier, realize too late that some places are better left undisturbed? Yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think of the Island of the Dolls. It's a pretty cool subject. It's always kind of fascinated me. And I feel like this platform here is the perfect platform to tackle stuff like that. And honestly, I just like talking. I like talking about this kind of stuff. It's interesting to me. I'm glad that you guys find it interesting too. So yeah, let me know down below if you would ever visit the haunted island. Would you take dolls? Would you leave a doll at the island for the spirits? That's pretty much it for today. Check the community post in the community tab to find out what's going on with that whole twin paranormal thing. I'm trying to stay updated on top of it as much as I can now. Thank you guys so much for all of you who came over and checked in on me yesterday. I truly didn't have any idea what all was going on. I don't get on Twitter much. I have a Twitter, or X, I guess as it's called now. But it's linked to my game channel. Linked to my gaming channel in my bio. But yeah, I never get on X. I'm still an avid Facebook user, but I only have that because that's where my family and friends are. Honestly, I'm not a fan of social media, and this is coming from a guy that was in his teens when MySpace had just came out and was everywhere. I loved MySpace, dude. I miss MySpace. Facebook has ruined social media. But yeah, if you guys are sorry for the rant, man, my goodness. You guys like the content, please like, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna get off here and get back to work on something else. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a good day.